FAB-Racing.
So here with Harrison Day in his second season in FAB-Racing. How are you feeling going into this season?
Good.
What are you aiming to achieve?
Podium in the pros and top 4 in the elites.
Obviously you did your first season last season in the AC40 rookies. How was that for you as your first season ever racing?
It was good. The bike felt quick compared to like what I used to ride, and now is when I've got on the 14 mil, it feels really quick, especially on the CS engine.
So before you jumped on one of these mini motos, what were you riding before?
Strider, maybe.
So obviously, I mean, your dad's been riding a lot as well over in the Ducatis. Has he been helping you out, been giving you tips?
Yeah.
What sort of things has he been telling you?
Braking late, using the back brake, better corner speed, and really that's it.
Is he easy to work with?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll let you crack on. Have a brilliant weekend and best of luck.
Thank you.
To kick off our first race of the day of the first full day's racing of FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship season 2021. The riders are all there revving, getting ready to take the red lights, and we are all preparing for a sensational day's racing here from Lydd. And I'm sure Archie O'Brien will be wanting to start off his weekend racing like he did yesterday, and with an absolutely sensationally fast lap time, like we saw last time around on Friday, where he picked up his opening lap. He had a huge advantage. So can Archie Gibbs do anything about it going into T1 this time around? You can see Archie Gibbs rocking backwards and forwards. He's ready for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you just see Callum Maxwell starting from pit lane there, so that's not the best start to the race 2 for him. But as we focus on these guys that are on the grid, it is Archie O'Brien and Archie Gibbs on that front row that look eager to get going. You can see them revving, getting back and forth. So we're just figuring out if it looks like, yeah, Archie O'Brien is looking to the lights, and we are going, and it's a good start from Archie O'Brien. It's a good start there from Byron Johnson. I think that is up into third place. Archie O'Brien, brilliant start at the front, already got a little bit of breathing space over Archie Gibbs, and the two, it's Byron Johnson just behind him, and Austin just dropping back a few places with Marco Holt just carving through.
Yeah, brilliant start once again from Archie O'Brien. And as you say, Byron Johnson from fifth place, from third row, getting straight up into third place and challenging Archie Gibbs. However, it is now the battle of the two Archies as Archie O'Brien and Archie Gibbs start to make a little bit of a breakaway on this first lap as they come into turn 5 and now onto the back straight as they go down towards the infield section. In fact, Archie Gibbs is looking mighty close. Will he send it down the inside going into the infield section? Not quite. It's a nice close off on the apex there for Archie O'Brien, but Archie Gibbs behind him on the 3 bike, of course, is chasing him down. This is much closer than what we've seen from yesterday's race, and Archie Gibbs now closing in on Archie O'Brien, who's going to come across the line first, exactly where he wanted to be and exactly what we saw yesterday. Archie O'Brien leading from Archie Gibbs. Behind it is Byron Johnson in third place that is just about managed to hold off Harrison Day.
Yeah, incredible corner speed there from Archie Gibbs between turns 1 and 2. He really changes direction really quickly, nice and smooth. Keeps that corner speed going, keeps that momentum flowing. Really nice stuff from him there. And really interesting to see Archie O'Brien going defensive down into the infield section. You'd think that he's going to be trying to take those wide sweeping lines and run away like we normally see him do. But if he thinks he needs to be defensive, he can clearly feel that Archie Gibbs is breathing down his neck as they come on to the back straight for the second time, asking a little bit of breathing space this time for Archie O'Brien, but not a lot as Archie Gibbs closes in on the brakes. He is right on his rear wheel now. He wants this win. He doesn't want to let Archie O'Brien get away with this one. Byron Johnson who is third place currently in this race, just leading ahead of Harrison Day. Another solid ride for him, ahead of Marco Holt down in 5th, GP50 rider.
Yeah, and Austin Johnson equally in 6th place as well. But Archie O'Brien last time around going fastest, a 56.960, only around about half a tenth faster than Archie Gibbs. So it shows you that the two Archies at the front matching each other lap for lap at the moment. And you can see as they're almost glued to each other as they go around the back end of the circuit. And they have dropped the third place man of Byron Johnson. It's now a 4-second gap between second and third as Archie Gibbs is right on the back of Archie O'Brien as they come in towards quite a tricky turn 5 onto the back straight. We've seen a number of riders, especially last season, get that one wrong. But into the infield section, Archie O'Brien, a little bit of a gap now, and I'm sure he'll take a little bit of a breather. He looks behind him, quick glance, and he sees that Archie Gibbs around about quarter to a half a second's advantage now for Archie O'Brien as he rounds the final corner. And to start lap 4, so we go on to with 6 laps left to go.
Now he's got that little bit of breathing space. He can take those wide swooping lines that we normally see him do. He doesn't have to ride defensive, and that could help him with his lap times as he goes and sets the fastest lap of the race again. Now with 0.7 of a second lead over Archie Gibbs. So now it's all down to Archie Gibbs to try and hit his markers, put in those fast laps, and try and get back onto the rear wheel of Archie O'Brien. It's still enough of a gap for it to be anyone's race at the moment. So it is all down to the number 3 of Archie Gibbs as they come round on to the back straight. Once again, it looks like the gap is opening up quite a bit now as Archie O'Brien puts down the pace. He is setting the pace here at the front of this AC40 Pro race. Byron Johnson still there in 3rd place, defending well in a brilliant battle there for 3rd. And I believe it is now Harrison Day who's now gone up into 3rd place and it's just put Byron Johnson down into 4th. So a brilliant battle brewing there. Marco Holt on the back of that one. So that's a battle from 3rd place down to 7th.
And it's really good to see these younger riders really clean racemanship between between themselves, because almost side by side, 3 wide going into the first part of the infield section. No contact, no trading paint. And of course, these riders, as young as 6 years old, already showing they can go toe-to-toe with each other. Yeah,
that's incredible to see. I mean, they're going to need to keep doing that as they go through their careers. And the fact that they're learning it now is a brilliant thing and shows brilliant prospect for all of these guys as they move up. Of course, riders such as Byron and Austin Johnson, Harrison Day as well, all these guys only in their 2nd season of racing. They did their rookie season last year and now moving up into the AC40 Pros. So to be able to show that maturity at this age is brilliant stuff. Now Harrison Day up into 3rd place. It is ahead of Byron and Austin Johnson. Marco Holt still hanging in there on the number 58 in 6th as well. But it is Archie O'Brien out the front who's setting consistent 56s that no one else is able to match. He's doing 56s, everyone else 57s, 58s. And that is how he just ekes out these gaps. It's just over a 1.5 seconds now that he has over Archie Gibbs.
Yeah, and you could see that Archie O'Brien just got into that groove. It took him a couple more laps than what we saw yesterday, but as soon as he's managed to get into it, he's just extended that lead lap for lap over Archie Gibbs now. It now sits at 1.6 seconds behind Harrison Day, starting to break a bit of a gap over the two Johnsons of Byron and Austin. But they're equally bringing Marco Holt with them, so 4th through 6th was only split by, well under a second. And behind Finley Polehill, involved in a cracking battle with Travis Shaw, as Finley, the 199, of course, making his first full season in the AC40 Pro class, having a fight with Travis Shaw, who's well versed on these bikes. And Finley putting in a good showing, currently only 0.5 of a second behind Travis.
Yeah, Finley doing an excellent job, of course. Just missed the tail end of last season with an injury. So work to come back here and come back strong is really good for him. Travis Shaw also doing a brilliant job there in 4th. Had a few issues this weekend with a few engine bolts going a bit astray, but he is back out there and he's doing a brilliant job in these races down there in 7th place in this one. Of course, his debut full season in the AC40 Pros, being a regular AC40 rookies rider that we saw last year. And it's brilliant seeing loads of these riders moving up, of course, towards the tail end of the field as well. Chloe Sewell, Callum Maxwell riders that we're seeing make those next steps in their careers in motorcycle racing. But Archie O'Brien just doing what he does best, setting consistent lap times out the front. Another 56, really close to his fastest lap of the race as well. Just consistently setting those lap times all really close together. 2.1 seconds now is the lead from Archie O'Brien to Archie Gibbs. And I think the difference between the two at this point in time is the fact that Archie O'Brien is just able to set those laps consistently and all the way through the race.
Yeah, and we've spoken to Archie on a number of occasions, and he's such a calm and assured young rider, very, very confident. And you can see when he goes out there, he just gets in that mindset. He knows as soon as he gets to the front, he can just check out, and that's what he's doing. It's now 2.8 seconds over Archie Gibbs, but we're on the penultimate lap, and in fact with Archie O'Brien with about 1.5 laps left to go, he's just got to keep it on the black stuff, and he'll be picking up a second win in succession, and a perfect way to open his account in the AC40 Pro class.
Yeah, absolutely so. I mean, he's got in. This is going to be his second win, his third win of the weekend overall, and his second win in the AC40 Pros. If he can keep it going like this, and like you say, a perfect way to open his account, a perfect way to start the season.
As you see, 3 wide going into the infield section is Byron, Austin Johnson and Marco Holt. These 3 have been absolutely tied to each other by a very short piece of rope. And it is at the moment Byron Johnson is just holding on to 4th place. He's allowed Harrison Day to break out into a solid 3rd place, but we're on the last lap of this one, and Archie O'Brien is just circulating at the moment, knowing that he's just got a few short corners left to go to pick up his second win of the season in the AC40 Pro class. And of course in the third win of the season in total with his LC40 Elite win. But Archie O'Brien into the infield section for the final time. A little bit of lap traffic up ahead of him, but it shouldn't hamper him too much. He's only got 2 corners left to go, and Archie O'Brien comes around the final corner, and he's going to take the checkered flag. He's in what has been an absolutely brilliant race for Archie O'Brien. Congratulations, he takes 2 from 2 to open his season. What a win from the young man. Archie Gibbs will come home in 2nd place. Harrison Day is looking as though he's going to come home in 3rd place. And then it's anyone's guess for 4th place between Byron, Austin Johnson and Marco Holt as they come around the final corner. And it's going to be a run to the line. Who's going to get it on the line? It looks as though Byron's just about going to snatch it ahead of his brother Austin Johnson by just a shade over 1/10 of a second. And then just, a 1/10 of a second back is Marco Holt. What a result there. Both Byron and Austin Johnson moving up through the field and coming across, and Byron under pressure for that entire race. But Archie O'Brien, well, as soon as he managed to break away from Archie Gibbs after the first couple of laps, it was just his race and he just controlled it from the front.
Absolutely so. I mean, he did such a brilliant job out the front of this one. 5.3 seconds over Archie Gibbs. Another brilliant ride from Gibbs as well. Brilliant 2nd place. That's a good 40 points towards his championship as well. So brilliant stuff from the number 3. And Harrison Day, another podium for him. And it's like what they say, once you get one podium, they come like London buses.
Absolutely so. So congratulations goes out to Harrison. I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. But
I think we're going straight into a race start here. So no warm-up laps now. They've already had plenty of track time this weekend. They know the circuit like the back of their hand, and they're looking to the lights for the 3rd time this weekend of the FAB-Racing Minibike British Championships. It's a good start there for the number 91, and a good start there from, I think that was Byron Johnson up the inside from 5th place up the grid up to 2nd. So a brilliant start from the number 37. Archie Gibbs just drops down to 3rd.
Yeah, what a start from Byron Johnson from 5th. Absolutely soared into second position. Archie Gibbs is trying to come back at him around the outside. Does he get the move done? It looks as though he hasn't quite, but Byron Johnson holding on to it. Austin Johnson equally fighting up at the front. It's been a great start for the Johnson brothers. But once again, Archie O'Brien holding on to the lead of this one and starting to stretch his legs a little bit, because Byron Johnson has now got Archie Gibbs swarming all over the back of him. Equally, the fight is now starting to go on. Austin Johnson trying to hold with his brother and Archie Gibbs in 2nd and 3rd positions. But Archie O'Brien back exactly where he's used to being, up at the front, a 2nd gap.
Yeah, absolutely. Archie O'Brien is so good at the front of this one. And we just have a rider off at the side. I think that's the number 111 of Callum Maxwell. Yeah, it is. That is Callum Maxwell. Unfortunately, started 10th place on the grid and is off at the side of the circuit. So perhaps a crash or some problems there. But Archie O'Brien just flying at the front of this one. He's just absolutely eked out a gap. Archie Gibbs is now up into 2nd place ahead of Byron Johnson. So Archie Gibbs is now going to try and put the hammer down and see if he can catch up to your race leader, the number 91. Archie O'Brien is just absolutely, he's just so solid around this Lydd circuit. We've been singing his praises all weekend, but what else can we say? Because he's just been blowing the field away in every race he's done. 3 wins so far this weekend in different categories, and now going for even more.
Yeah, and looking really comfortable at it. He's not made any mistakes. He's not had any wobbles, and I know that's the precursor to the commentator's curse. However, he has just looked supreme so far this weekend, and well, we'll see if that can continue. Behind, Archie Gibbs, as you say, has got ahead of Byron Johnson, and he's looking to put a little bit more pressure on Archie O'Brien, leading this one away. But behind, we've now got a change of position for 4th place as Harrison Day gets up past Austin Johnson. So the trio of Austin Johnson, Byron Johnson and Harrison Day seem to have been pretty well evident in the last few races, and equally Marco Holt trying to get involved in this battle. So we've got a 4-way fight for 3rd position, and that could go anywhere. Behind, we've still got a battle between Finley Polhill and Lewis Hull. Of course, Lewis Hull, who picked up a couple of decent results in the AC40 Rookies Cup last season. So Lewis making that transition to the pro class. We'll see what he can do. He's currently running in 8th place, but the man at the front currently 3.4 seconds ahead of anyone else, with the fastest lap that's over a second faster is Archie O'Brien. The battle, however, for 3rd place is really starting to bubble up.
Yeah, and you can see Marco Holt looking really racy as well there, trying to get past the number 27 of Austin Johnson. He's doing everything he can to try and get underneath Johnson. Of course, both these Byron and Austin Johnson on the Tevo chassis, riding for the Team Evolution engineering team. You can see very similar livery to Oliver Hall that we saw in the AC40 Rookies. That is because they are running in the same team. But Harrison Day all over the rear wheel of Byron Johnson. He's really trying to get this podium. We've seen him on the podium a few times this weekend so far. He's really enjoying racing here at Lydd, and he is really trying to make that, get that next podium here at the Lydd kart circuit on the southeast coast of England. They go onto the back straight one more time. He has a look. He's got a good drive onto the back straight. He's going to have a look down into the infield, but no, doesn't quite make it stick. Byron Johnson really late on the brakes.
Yeah, great move there from Johnson to hold on to position, but it is the 91, Archie O'Brien, your race leader at the moment, comfortably extending that lap, that lead lap for lap. But Archie, the number 3 of Archie Gibbs, still trying to close him down in 2nd position. Byron Johnson in 3rd, holding off the battle of Harrison Day. Marco Holt is now pulled up into 5th position as Austin Johnson looks as though he's falling down the order. So another issue there for Austin Johnson. Frustratingly,
was that Austin Johnson at the side of the circuit?
Yeah,
there
I think it must have been
just at the side, or might have been rider pulling in earlier on as well. So some problems there, unfortunately, for Austin Johnson, and that is Austin Johnson. So that is him at the side of the circuit on that Team Evolution engineering bike. Unfortunate end to the race for him. But the rider who we're talking about the most is the number 91, Archie O'Brien, flying out the front of this race. Absolutely brilliant stuff from the number 91. He just keeps going out there, setting these laps consistently faster than everyone else. 5.5 seconds he is up the road, comfortable, just needs to go out there, get in his groove. Like we said earlier on, Gareth, once he's in his groove, he is just unstoppable. Yeah, he very much just gets on it. He's so smooth, he's so careful, and with 4 laps left to go in this one, he just needs to, as we say, just keep it exactly the same. You can see, just even at his young age, his technique on this bike looks very, very good. Yeah, you can see his lines are honestly really, really good. I mean, he goes in there, you can see him going into the far end of the circuit, going out wide, bringing it back in and hitting that late apex, setting it up for the next corner. Just really, really brilliant stuff. You can see how smooth he is, just flying through. You can see they're taking his late apexes, focusing on his exits. Really, really mature stuff from the number 91, and definitely a prospect for the future. But equally so, the number 3, Archie Gibbs, absolutely flying as well with the St George's Cross on his helmet. The number 3, really, really, really good stuff from him. No one else can quite keep with him. These two, the 2 Archies, in a bit of a league of their own. It's just O'Brien this weekend is just absolutely dominant. Yeah, and he's currently leading with 3 laps left to go in this 3rd and final round of the first round of the season. Of course, 2 rounds this weekend. Round 1 of the season was Friday and Saturday. Round 2 will be tomorrow. We fit in all 3 rounds in one day. It is going to be a mega day's racing, so make sure you tune in not only for this afternoon session, but for the entirety of tomorrow's. But Archie O'Brien, well, can he just extend this winning streak that is now going to go up to 5 races? Every time he's got on a bike, he's managed to pick up the first place. Behind, we've got a battle going on between Chloe Sewell and Sam Gardner over 9th position. Chloe Sewell, who's trying to close in on Sam as they fight over that 9th place finish and the top 9 finish, what would be a pretty good result for both of the young riders. Lewis Holt has dropped back behind Travis Shaw, so Travis getting that move done. In fact, now Travis on the back end of Finley Polhill, who's moved up into 6th position. So it's a good run so far for Finley. He's making that first transition after being out with an injury at the end of last season, straight back onto the bike and straight back on the pace. Really, really good run from Finley on the number 199. Of course, yeah, like you say, last year picking up that injury at Rowra just missing the tail end of the season, and now coming back strong with a bit more power underneath him now, moving up from the AC40 rookies to the AC40 Pros, going from the 10mm restrictor plate to the 14. Now a little bit more power underneath him, and he's enjoying life in the AC40 Pro category. But equally is Harrison Day, the number 15. Another podium for him. It's set to be. He's comfortably in third place in this race ahead of Byron Johnson, battling out, and we're really seeing him coming into his own this season and really enjoying life in the AC40 Pros. A lot of these riders enjoying life now. They've got a little bit more power. The bikes are a little bit less restricted, and they're just really just putting in the paces here. But one rider that's really putting in the paces is the number 91, Archie O'Brien. What else can we say about him?
Yeah, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal race weekend so far. He's just making his way past Chloe Saul and lapping her on the final lap of this one. He's just got a few corners left to go. He comes up to the infield section. Just Sam Gardner, who's going to see Archie O'Brien just down the inside, gives him the room, which is good to see. But Archie with a few more corners left to go, second of the hairpin of the infield section, and then on to the final two corners. And Archie O'Brien is going to make it 5 from 5 and 3 from 3 in the AC40 Pro. What a result for this man. The 91 is on a different level. What a result. Archie O'Brien, another win here in the AC40 Pro class. Incredible
victory for Archie O'Brien. That makes it 3 from 3 in the AC40 Pros. 100% win rate for round 1. Archie O'Brien, 3 second places. Archie Gibbs, 3 second places for him. Another podium for the number 15, Harrison Day. Brilliant ride for him. Byron Johnson comes home in 4th. Marco Holt seems to have dropped down the order, so perhaps some problems for Marco Holt. Finney Polehill gets a brilliant 5th place. A really good result for him, just ahead of the number 4 of Travis Shaw. Good ride for Travis as well. We'll have to just find out what happened to Marco Holt there as Lewis Hull comes across the line in 7th. So I think we might have just lost the number 58 at the tail end of the race.
Yeah, shame for Marco Holt, but we'll see him later in the MKGP 50s for his third race of the day in the bigger bikes, as he's moved up to the Metro Kit bikes. But Archie O'Brien once again a 13.1 second advantage over Archie Gibbs, who we know that he's got the pace under that bike. He just needs to, obviously, maybe Lydd just isn't the circuit. We know that different circuits suit different riders, and I'm expecting to see Archie come back stronger, perhaps at round 3. But at the moment, Archie O'Brien is looking untouchable.